Damon D in the Netherlands. Let's get it.
Where are you from originally? You know, they say you shouldn't do it, let's do it.
I also want to talk about gay rights.
Times change, people grow.
Think for yourself.
Like, you're a grown-up.
People were in shock.
That's one big question.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So cute. Now, first things first, I am so intrigued by this country, the Netherlands, not Holland, because Holland's just a region in the Netherlands, right? We tend to get them twisted because so many of the cities that we visit as tourists are in the region of Holland. So you technically are visiting Holland, but the country is the Netherlands. The Netherlands is known worldwide for topics that are so taboo around the rest of the world. Sex, weed, drugs, gay rights, atheism. In many parts of the world, some of these concepts are associated with not being in the right state of mind. But what's even funnier to me is the fact that the Netherlands consistently ranks among the happiest countries in the world. So you know what, buckle in. I'm a little freaked out because I feel like there's a lot of high expectations for this video. Maybe you have no idea about this channel and you just clicked it. In that case, welcome. For everyone else, I'm a little freaked out. So I'll just say, this is my experience. You can't get mad at my experience, because it's my experience. This wasn't planned. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, oh my God. Gotta get off this bike. No, we'll just walk the bike. Let's do that. Let's just walk the bike. All right. Look what we have here. I have officially arrived at the red light district. Y'all, I'm totally kidding. If I were in the red light district, one, you wouldn't be able to hear me. Two, there would be like at least 3 frat boys behind me, either vomiting or like screaming party rock anthem. It's party rock behind me. Okay, I'm not there. Also, I'm not sure if you know this, but you're actually not allowed to film when you're in the red light district out of respect for the ladies. No, for real, there's like literally nobody here. Not allowed to film there, which makes this video all about sex and weed and drugs and all of it very difficult to film. I am in the neighborhood called Jordaan, which on a Wednesday night, frankly, might as well be called Boredon, because there ain't nothing going on. I wanted to get into some funny business tonight, but well, she speaks English, I'll just follow her. Not following her, but I just wanted to tell you, just to spice this video up a little bit more, I am here solo traveling, and I did want to say Amsterdam is one of the only cities where I got mugged. And look at me walking around with my camera and my phone right here, like an idiot, speaking full, fluent American English. I'm gonna put this away.
What kind of fuckery is this?
Is that okay?
It's very okay. It's very. Oh no. What he does is not okay, but filming that is very okay.
I don't like cats. All right. So I am officially 1, 2, 3 proseccos deep. It took me approximately 1, 2, 3 seconds to make 2 new friends here. 2 French guys who've lived here for 20 and 16 years. I've been asking lots of questions, but I have one more. Is there ever a reason for you guys to go to the red light district?
I've never.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what it's.
For me, it's a
yeah.
For me, it's a shortcut to home. There is.
You're like, I have to go there to go home.
There are 2 places in the red light districts that I like to go to. One of them is a Chinese restaurant, and the other one is a liquor place. We all go through exploration. I think everything should be somewhat depenalized.
I mean, I asked 3 different people today if they even go to coffee shops, and none of them said they go to coffee shops. Now that the world is legalizing it, maybe Amsterdam won't have as much of an over-tourism problem because people won't come here to like smoke weed, which is not bad.
No.
Okay, not that I need any more encouragement to like live my damn life, but Amsterdam has this effect, you know, you have a prosecco or 2, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I do support this. My 2 new French friends who moved here 20 years ago encouraged me to go explore tonight, and I said, you know what, you're right, because we're in a town that encourages exploring the human experience. So, you know what? All right. So last night on my way home, I don't know how this happened, but my GPS seemed to reroute to a gay sauna. So I happened to show up there, and it was absolutely my first time ever in a gay sauna. I can't even do this. I'll tell you this, I've been to a few gay saunas around the world, and it's always a cultural experiment to see like how each country reacts to sex. Brazilians are extremely sexual. So for example, when you go to a gay sauna in Brazil, it's like very performative, like very porny, like, yeah, I'm so hot. Americans right now, even during this part, are probably a little uncomfortable because we grow up not learning about nudity, shunning women for even showing their breasts when they're breastfeeding, or being topless on a beach. It's just like people are afraid of the human body. When we all have it, it's like the one thing we all actually have, and it's the one thing we're almost taught to like not accept. So I was there solely in the name of research. And I wanted to go because the Netherlands was the first country ever to legalize gay marriage, same-sex marriage. Bravo! Saunas were basically invented as a pretext for men to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to the sauna just to relax, you know? Let me tell you, people are really relaxing in there. So when you walk in, you're greeted by a man who hands you a towel and a locker, and he went, oh, I don't need to see ID, I believe you're under 26, it's fine. And I was like, yeah, yeah, 1995, 6. Yeah, October 32nd. I mean, 2nd. Here's how it works. You're in your towel and you walk around almost like a maze, a labyrinth of all these like cabins, and it's dark and it's red. And then you go into a sauna and you just chill. Then there are like showers where everyone can see you shower. There are private showers, a steam room, and in a lot of bigger ones, there are multiple rooms. So you're just constantly like doing laps, looking for people that you find attractive. And there are all types here. The whole concept of saunas and dark rooms, I can't even be mad at them or think that there's some sort of shameful activity when that is the one place you can go to and actually meet somebody who has the same thing in mind as you do. Anywhere else, if you go up to a guy in a bar and flirt, that could get violent. It's just like straight couples can do whatever they want and no one has to worry about being yelled at in the street. But the minute you're gay, lesbian, transgender, bi, your options for not only exploring but being safe about it are like very low. I've done things in saunas before, but I didn't do anything this time. But I did have one guy in the steam room go, I fuck you. And I was like, he went, fuck you. And I was like, no, I'm okay, thank you. And he goes, and when he did that, I was like, boy, who the fuck do you think you just did that to? You don't get to do that. And it made me think of how some women in the red light district probably feel. Man walks in, woman's like, oh, it'll be this much, or like, oh, sorry, I'm not interested, or whatever. And the man's like, well, I'm so good. What are you even doing here? Like, what you're doing is so shameful. The flip switches immediately. He was a tourist. And again, what I'm noticing is that it's not the Dutch people. The Dutch people are like, we accept this and tolerate it because we're mature about it. So I was expecting to go to this sauna and see some like freaky deaky shit. It was so calm and none of them were my type. So I was like, well, oh shit, oh my god, no. Just another day like this. Oh my god. Okay. This is so nuts to me. It is the middle of February. Couldn't be colder or rainier, and people are riding their bikes. What is the general attitude towards drugs as to Dutch ladies?
Marijuana is kind of like, I don't know, like I don't think of it as like a bad thing. My general attitude towards it is like, you know, you do you, I'm gonna do me. I think it's easier to get in Amsterdam because in Amsterdam you're at a party and like there's always like that one person's like, oh, you want anything? I'll call a guy. Like every high school has like a drug dealer, basically.
High school?
Yeah, every high school has a drug dealer.
Wait a second.
Mostly weed. Yeah,
Is it?
And then you just could join on a school. Not that I did it, but
okay.
people did it.
It's actually funny because in the winter when it snows, police goes up in helicopters to see which like, how do you call it, roofs don't have snow on them because that's where they're...
heat lamps.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people who smoke weed regularly are like foreigners who came to live here and are like, oh yeah, it's like, we can do it.
I think it's really known for like, for Dutch people, like all the British people come to Amsterdam to smoke weed.
Oh my god, they're so annoying.
Like,
no offense to any British people, but they always come here, get absolutely wasted, destroy public property.
The drinking age being 21 in the United States is the reason why we come over here and we're the loud drunk ones in your streets. Because we don't know how to behave.
Competition with British people as well. They're really loud.
Damn it, we lost.
You don't quite there. Okay.
Just wait till tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, you're not number one.
No, I read an article that like British tourists caused like 5 million in damage.
Okay, first off, Dutch people, would you say prostitution or would you say sex work?
Prostitution.
In Dutch you don't really say sekswerk, which would be the direct translation. That's not really a thing. I think these women should do whatever they want. I just wish that like their situations were better.
People should do whatever they do, and I just have respect for anyone who does what they have to do to make a living.
The thing is, prostitution has been around for like really long. Like I think it's one of the oldest professions, maybe even. The thing is, like they pay taxes, you know, like it's a fully like legal thing. Then I also think that, you know,
really
the jobs
depends on the
people
person.
do don't define them.
Wow, come for president.
Seriously.
I think a lot of men would not be supportive. They would like really look down upon it.
Sexism.
Yeah, sexism, just
Calling.
Good old sexism, huh?
basically there is like a helpline for women in the prostitution that get into like bad situations, but this helpline wasn't actually known among prostitutes.
Ah, okay.
So like there was no awareness about the helpline.
If you're gonna forbid it, people will do it in very dangerous ways.
This is like the attitude of the Netherlands in general. I feel like that everyone just respects each person's right to like do whatever they want. Point blank, period.
I don't know about all this rain. Okay, so I'm here in NDSM, which is in the north part of Amsterdam. NDSM stands for Nederlands Dok- en Scheepsbouwmaatschappij, which used to be an industrial shipyard for about 60 years. Then it went out of, I guess, business in the 80s. And now, of course, like, come on, cue it up, creative hub of restaurants, coffee shops. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm gonna walk around and see. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be in here. I haven't seen one person. Oh well. So after all this taboo talk, I was really wondering what role religion plays in all of this, because it seems like a lot of things can get done as long as you're the one deciding what is right and what's wrong for yourself. The minute you throw in religion and you have to follow somebody else's moral code that was decided for you in your own life, that's when things might move a little bit more slowly. In 2015, a vast majority of the inhabitants of the Netherlands, 82%, said they had never or almost never visited a church. In 2019, the Central Bureau of Statistics reported that for the first time, non-religious people were the majority in the Netherlands. The Social and Cultural Planning Agency expects the number of non-affiliated Dutch to be 72% in 2020. Now, I'm so intrigued by this country. Now let's go learn about Dutch colonialism. Remember when I told y'all that the Netherlands likes to bike? So gado-gado is Indonesian, you said? I'm gonna go for this gado-gado. I've never had that. Sounds interesting. Gado-gado. Goddamn good. Goddamn goodo. Like, it's delicious.
It's really
Wow. Better hurry this up. I arrived here at the Tropen Museum. Museum with Ela.
Yes.
She's an American / Dutch living here in Amsterdam. You grew up here. Sorry. I think this is part of the exhibition here at the Tropen Museum. So there are so many museums you can go to here in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Typically like the Rijksmuseum and the
Van Gogh Museum.
Van Gogh Museum.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like I needed to learn more about the Dutch colonialism back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Netherlands is so just, there's something happening. I'll get to you soon.
Like the 16th, 17th century, They were like these trade routes with the East, and in Indonesia they had all these spices that we really wanted and like nice fabrics. We have this company called the VOC, which is the Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie. I forget the English name. Yeah, the Dutch Indies. Yeah, the Dutch East Indies Company. So we went to Indonesia and we went to like Caribbean. The company that went to the Caribbean did all the like slave trading, and that's the company that.
Well, we need some translation. Yes, it's Dutch. Dutch traders came to Indonesia in 1596 in search of spices. In the 19th century, the Netherlands expanded its power through brute force until the whole of Indonesia was under Dutch rule. Nevertheless, in the Dutch collective memory, this period is surrounded by nostalgia. To most Indonesians, it is the occupation period. You know what I think? I think in like 200 years, the same thing will be happening with United States history. Like what's going down right now with the States.
Yeah.
We'll look back and be like, are you kidding me? Like, how did we let that fly back in the day?
Yeah.
Just like the way military action and everything.
Yeah.
No! Why is it always like this? So rain or shine, snow or humid, you're riding your bike. And you said no one's even using an umbrella. There's literally nobody using an umbrella right now. Has anything on your bike ever gotten stolen in Amsterdam?
So my bike got stolen once, but then we found it like somewhere else in the street, so we took it back.
FEBO. I'm feeling real cool. So explain to me what FEBO is.
You put money in here, and then you can like open a little window, and then you just have it, so you don't have to talk to any people.
Wow, the dream. So I should get the cassouffle?
Cassouffle.
Cassouffle.
I think this is how it works.
This is so fun. I'm so excited right now. Yeah. So this is junk food.
Yeah.
Is FEBO short for something?
Yes, it actually is. It's short for Ferdinand Bolstraat.
Fergie?
Ferdinand Bolstraat, like Ferdinand.
Fergie Ferg? Give me la pizza.
So I don't know how long it's been sitting out there, but.
So what is FEBO?
So FEBO stands for Ferdinand Bolstraat, which is a street in Amsterdam where the first FEBO was. Yeah.
Every morning I've been waking up to this whimsical garden. Goedemorgen. Goedemorgen. I learned something. Have a cup of coffee. I'll take a cup of coffee. Okay, so yeah, it seems like from the people I've talked to, they're all accepting of what's going on here, but it seems like nobody's taking part in it. So if weed's legalized, that's great, but they don't really go to coffee shops. I mean, they were all pretty young too, so they just grew up with it.
I grew up in a completely different time. My youth was in the roaring 60s.
Yeah.
When I was young, we still went to church, but also that changed. Everybody stopped going. And then all kinds of ideas, like, well, freedom of thinking and for women to work. We fought for all kinds of freedom. The coffee.
Thank you.
For instance,
Thank you.
people are getting more and more prude now on the television, black and white in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful woman, and she had a newspaper, and that newspaper did this, and she was naked. just here for me. People were in shock.
Was that the first time that a woman bared her breasts?
Somebody naked on the television.
What did you think about it? Were you still kind of shocked, or were you like?
No, we were thinking that's great, because we wanted to change things.
Toedeloe?
Toedeloe.
Is that where it comes from?
I don't know.
In English we say Toedeloe.
Toedeloe. Your story about what you were thing to do with liberalism in Amsterdam and Holland. So it made me think. And to be honest, I'm not pleased with it, what all happened. You can read it in the paper every day. Naked woman.
Everybody watch out!
Oh, naked woman in the museum. Is een tekening met vrouwelijk naakt geschikt voor mensen uit alle culturen? En moet een museum daar rekening mee houden?
Wow.
They are getting more and more prude. When so she has her own opinion as well.
Yeah.
That's enough. Okay. Well, she listens.
How long have you lived here?
Here in the north for 25 years.
25 years.
And
okay.
I was born and raised in the city center.
Oof.
In the middle, in the red light district. And it was normal for us.
Yeah.
And well, the women, they were dressed up different. What you see now is all girls from abroad. And I hope it's their own decision to sit there, but I don't know.
Seems like everyone tolerates the red light district or people wanting to be sex workers, but if somebody you know, for example, hey mom or whoever, hey friend, I'm gonna go work in the red light district, what would you think?
If it's her own decision, be my guest. But what you see now in the red light district, people are thousands walking there just to look and to look.
People go there just to point and laugh or humiliate, and like
it.
that's
Taking
not the point.
pictures and
Yeah.
I have to admit to myself, okay, the world changed. I changed perhaps, but not much, not enough to accept it all. What happens now? If I feel bad and sad, you know what I do?
You go to Twiskemolen.
I go to the Twiskemolen.
Looking for the remaining liberalism in the Netherlands.
I listen to some music. And
Okay.
and then I go to my jukebox.
Oh, can I come over there?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear something you like.
In time, and then I listen to Madame Nina Simone and her.
Yes.
And then I feel happy again.
Ooh.
And you know the thing happens now. And as you hear,
Oh, yeah.
very old.
Yep. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh. Hold on, stay there. I said I felt like I need to go to a coffee shop because I feel like it's part of the culture. And she goes, wait 1 second.
So I said, wait a minute, I have space cake. Some of the cats, they left it, and I thought to myself, do I throw it away or do I keep it? I keep it. I also have in the drawer something you can smoke.
Okay.
I never smoked, only cigarettes, never smoked also in the roaring 60s, no.
And why not? You just weren't into
I
it?
like to get hold of myself, I don't like to be another person.
First ingredient, sugar, wheat flour. It's like weed is the last ingredient.
These ones are my daughters. We walk in the garden with it.
So they're garden shoes, primarily.
Yes, she don't go to a party with me. Do they fit?
They're pretty big, but oh, okay. Wow, they have some arch support. Oh yeah, these are more comfortable than I thought, actually. Oh, so the 3 X's stand for Amsterdam.
There's 3 crosses.
3 crosses.
Yeah.
I noticed your phone case also has the 3 X's.
Yeah. It's all Amsterdam.
Well, I stuff to write in this.
Oh, thanks.
Alrighty.
Damon is a very good
Yes. Have a very good time. She was so sweet.
Yep.
Welcome to another segment of me learning all about the Netherlands and what's really getting down here. I'm so intrigued, y'all. I was just on the government website of the Netherlands. First off, like, congrats to you guys for paying taxes and actually seeing where your money's going. You go on this government.nl website and it shows broken down, like topics. What do you want to know? What law do you want to know about? Dutch law distinguishes between hard and soft drugs. Soft drugs include hash, marijuana, sleeping pills. Hard drugs include heroin, cocaine, amphetamine, LSD, and ecstasy. It is a criminal offense in the Netherlands to possess, produce, or deal in drugs. This applies to soft drugs as well as hard drugs. What? The use of drugs by persons aged 18 years or older is not a criminal offense. And didn't you just say? So, okay. I can't possess it, but I can use it. Okay, it's just like the wording here is a little confusing, Netherlands. This is what we all need to know. If you have more than 5 grams of cannabis or more than 5 cannabis plants in your possession, you will be prosecuted. Anything else? All these paragraphs are saying, while it's not technically legal, they're not gonna prosecute you. So the real law, it sounds like, is it is a criminal offense in the Netherlands to possess, produce, or deal over 5 grams of cannabis in the Netherlands, or have more than 5 cannabis plants in your possession. Okay, so then what about coffee shops? Businesses known as coffee shops in the Netherlands are cafes that do not serve alcohol and where customers can purchase and consume soft drugs. Although the sale of soft drugs is a criminal offense, coffee shops selling small quantities of soft drugs will not be prosecuted. So coffee shops then can possess more than 5 grams of cannabis, but are not permitted to sell over 5 grams of cannabis in a single transaction. Okay. Well, all that to say that I don't even like weed.
Okay, I'll do that. So here's the deal. The coffee shop said, nope, you can't film here. Not that I was surprised. So we said, all right, we'll take a stroopwafel and a space cake muffin and we'll be on our way. Okay, the ingredients in the space stroopwafel. We got flour, margarine, sugar, soy milk, syrup, yeast, flaxseed, cinnamon, and 60 milligrams THC. When was the last time, for example, you guys went to a coffee shop?
For me, like 2 years?
Yeah.
Day before yesterday? Okay,
This is pretty good. I, for some reason, thought this would be disgusting. I swear in like 10 years this will be in grocery stores. You think that?
No.
No.
Why?
Because it's regulated.
Yeah.
But
Because it's not even legal, it's gedoogd.
It's like tolerated.
Yeah, tolerated.
They can sell it to clients, but they cannot actually get it.
so where do they get it from?
Yeah.
That's one big question.
In the South, they were trying to, for a few years, they like banned it from tourists.
They had this thing that you needed to have like a weed pass, and you could only get it if you're Dutch.
It was called Weed Pass?
I think a weed pass. Yeah, weed pass.
What are they feeding? What hormones y'all feeding these animals? Somebody was onto something with this park, because you have Culture Boat over there, and you got the petting zoo about 2 steps away.
I actually did research about this for uni.
Yeah?
Yeah.
About the fact that it's here next to...
Yeah, how they're like sort of facilitating people smoking weed here, because it's so nearby.
So, mustard soup.
Yes. The liquid.
I've never tasted this before. It's like literally mustard soup. But it's not bad.
No.
This is not bad at all. This is literally like ketchup and mustard.
At work, I have this like at least once a week.
So the water sector, there must be a lot of it.
So much. I think 50% of the Netherlands, it's below sea level.
I was always wondering why in English we say the Netherlands. Like to me there was no connection, nether, like I was like what is nether? But when I started learning other languages, in French you say like les Pays-Bas, the Low Countries. In English we do say nether because we say like in the nether region, which is like in your lower region. So we are actually saying like lower lands, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my lecture. Call me a damn superhuman, y'all, because I am now 3 hours into my space stroopwafel. And I'm like, at what time does it kick in?
maybe I have a high tolerance. For somebody who never smokes weed, never has these. This was literally my second one in my life. And the last time I had one in Amsterdam about 5 years ago, same thing. I was like, can I get the double-double? You know, I say that, and while I was pretty like fine in the moment, I then think of the past 3 hours and think of what I was doing. Went to the supermarket and then consumed all this. I looked at this floor and I was like, nice rug. Would be nice to lay on that. Like, I remember walking 10 minutes to the bus stop, and then I stopped in the supermarket, and then I turned the wrong way out of the supermarket, walked back to the original starting point, and then walked another 10 minutes to the bus stop. Yeah, weed, cannabis, THC, grass, lawn. I don't know if lawn's a word. It just doesn't do it for me. But just because weed may not be for Damon Deed does not mean that it has to be illegal. And then on top of that, just to think like it's a plant. It grows from earth. Like, we don't even grow from earth. Like, if anything, we should be illegal. Like, this is vegan. So here in the Netherlands, they have not only coffee shops, but also smart shops that sell magic truffles and I believe mushrooms and other like mind-altering teas and stuff. See, I feel like that'd be more my jam. My mind is like way over here in the moon and the clouds, even without this. So imagine if I can go from the clouds to the next layer, wherever that is. Have you ever thought about it? What's above that? What is above the universe? How many times have I said this? There is no way we are just random human creatures on a random planet in the middle of like this massive universe and there's not something fishy going on. So this place is the Folks Hotel, y'all, and they ain't fucking playing around. While I've been here in Amsterdam, I've noticed a lot about this language, the Dutch language, right? It's very interesting because it sounds like what English would sound like to somebody who doesn't speak English. So the Dutch language. Have you ever played The Sims? Okay, well, that's what the language sounds like. I understand that this might be really confusing for most people because it was confusing for me until I came here. We have the Netherlands, we have Holland, we have the Dutch, and the language is Dutch. And you're just like, which one is it, people? For most part, it'd be like, I'm French and I speak French in France. It's pretty similar. But that's a problem for everyone else because the Dutch, they say the Netherlands is called Nederlands, Dutch is called Nederlands, and the people are called Nederlanders. I don't really know about all this. Y'all saw me on the bike earlier. Someone could so easily push me in right now. Do more people drink or smoke in the Netherlands? Like, would you say more people still drink?
Drinking culture is still pretty big. Yeah, it's not, the weed thing is really overhyped for like outside the country because we're so known for it, but it's just really like normal.
People here are still kind of against it a little bit. Some of my friends smoke weed, but a lot of my friends are also just like, oh, I would never, you know? Like very like, no, that's not for me. And it's legal here, so that makes it weird. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is that tourists think that it's all the hype. So when you go outside the country, a lot of the times it's like, oh, you're from Holland? Oh, right? I'm like, I've never smoked in my life. You know what I mean? Like, don't even. Yeah.
I feel like the country looks really progressive in a lot of like outsiders' viewpoints, but living in it and actually seeing conflicts and actually seeing politics and like experiencing it every day, it is in a lot of ways way more divided than people actually think. Usually the like on the right of politics, it's always about immigration. It's always about immigration.
You moved here from Poland.
I moved here from Poland. I'm half Polish, half Spanish. It's obviously very different to be an immigrant here from a European country, or from like a Middle Eastern or African country, or from a former Dutch colony. Because there are a lot of people here from Indonesia, from Suriname.
Your parents are from Ghana.
Yeah, Ghanaian.
But you grew up here.
Yeah, I was born here.
So tell me about that. Do you feel Dutch? Do you feel
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian?
So it's very difficult, especially now in the day and age that we live in. A lot of people are just like coming into their wokeness. I used to not wear my hair out at all, or I would relax it. And because people would say it's like gross, or like it looks unprofessional, or like ew, you know, especially as a kid, they would be like, that's not it, because everyone here is Dutch and everyone here has straight hair, like, you know, loose curls, but they don't have my afro hair. And now when I wear my hair, it's like, yes, girl, work. I'm like, okay, it's just, it grows out of my head like this. Like, I'm not doing some extra, like, this is literally who I am.
Normal
I don't go up to you like, yes, girl, work those blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, same for my skin. People would come up to me, they're like, you have beautiful skin. I'm like, this is how I rolled out. Like, this is literally, this is who I am. Like, I didn't do nothing. I would say I'm more Dutch. And that's like the hard part too, because I know that when I go back to Ghana, I can't relate. Like, I don't know when the Freedom Day for Ghana was, but I know that, you know, in Holland it's the 5th of May. And like, it makes no sense because like, that's a lot of immigrant children speak their native language. But my parents wanted me to have like no accent in Dutch.
Why is the Netherlands seeing this change? Like, what's going on?
No, like the refugee crisis, I think it started around 2014-ish. It became more of a hot topic, you know, as goes everything regarding politics. Like, whatever people like say the loudest or repeat the most, people are like, oh yeah, like, you know, like they take it for the truth. And especially with like immigration or like refugees, people are like, oh yeah, we don't want that in our country because we don't want them stealing our jobs, which might sound familiar to you.
Or stealing our culture,
exactly,
like we're Dutch.
Yeah, we want to protect our Dutchness, we want to protect our culture, we want to, you know, we want to stay us.
In my city, it's called Maastricht to the south. There are a lot of like international students, and the university is quite new. So the locals are often like, oh, there's so many international students. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so you lived in the States for a year.
Yeah. Education-wise, it's very different because the level of it. First of all, everything's multiple choice in America. We don't get any multiple choice. Nobody gets multiple choice.
You know what they tell us in the States is if you don't know the answer, guess C.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's like
that's
not
ridiculous.
Education.
And it's not education, it's a business.
You don't have that here in the Netherlands.
No, we get open questions for everything.
Everything.
Well, we have 3 different levels of high school. We have FEBO, HAVO, and FEBO. It's not a shame to go to like a lower level because that's what you can do. Like, you get education in the way that you can process instead of getting told you're dumb or you're smart. I know a lot of countries have a problem with that because the only thing that could make you, like, make your parents proud or make you proud, like you're worthy of being proud of, is going into a high education. And if everyone goes into a high education, who's gonna fix your shoes?
I also wanted to talk about gay rights. Here in the Netherlands, there's like nearly universal support for gay rights or LGBTQ rights, but actually in terms of their laws and, you know, law equality, legal equality, it's not that good as we might think. These are rules like, for example, like anti-discrimination laws in the workplace and in housing and stuff, protection for NGOs that fight for gay rights, protections for like IVF for trans people or single mothers or lesbian couples. We mustn't forget that there are still so many more things to be done to achieve full equality.
So when I go to Ghana, everyone's like, you're too westernized. And when I'm here, they would never say you're Dutch. They would always be like, where are you from originally? You know? The N-word is like a normal word here to describe black people. Yeah, they say negers.
They actually say it in Dutch?
Yeah. Yeah, and like for girls it's like negen and like stupid. I don't like that word, but people are just like, what else am I gonna call you? So people would call me Black Pete all the time. And when I tell people this, they're so shocked. I'm like, how can you be shocked? They literally have the same skin color. It shocks people. They don't believe it because they think, oh, but we don't do that here. It's a lot because I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and whenever black people would be discussed, people would look to me for like, what's your opinion? Yeah. And like, the fact you're already looking to me means this is an issue based on my complexion. And then I would just say, I don't know, I'm gonna tell them, no, I think it's wrong. I'm gonna get so much I'm gonna get bashed So
Yeah,
I was
like, it's because she's black.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's not, you asked me.
Exactly. You just want to hear me say what you think. So you're just like, I got one black girl who agrees with me. So, you know, like, I get, like, a lot of people just love their traditions. And you have to recognize that people are offended by this. Because I'm offended by it. Because I used to be called Black Pete. I don't like that. And also, Black Pete is you know, it's obviously blackface. Like, you can't even, you can't deny that. The thing about it is, on camera and on television, they would also just like be stupid and they can't read and they're always doing stupid shit, and it's like that just shows that you think so lowly of black people. I can't.
I think we do have a very progressive image, right?
Yeah.
Like the Netherlands, we're progressive, we're tolerating towards everyone, but secretly, are we though? I mean, there are very progressive and tolerant people, thankfully. There's still like a lot of people who don't feel that their voices are heard.
I'm coming in.
Je n'embête.
I've been in the Netherlands for a week now. Not one person thought it might be nice to bring up the fact that the Venga boys are Dutch. This is what I was dancing to all my life. Gosh, I knew I had a deeper connection to the Netherlands. So last night I went to a gay rave, big gay rave. Everyone's shirt was off, mine included. And I've been to many of these around the world. Here in Amsterdam, it was no different. And let me get something clear. People are taking drugs. Definitely. Oh, all over the world. You think that many people are in line for the bathroom because they actually have to go to the bathroom? Y'all. I just feel like the world has such a hit or miss opinion on drug use. Like for so long, cannabis was frowned upon and looked down upon, and now it's become cool. Same thing with painkillers or antidepressants. It's like, oh yeah, I need to go get my prescription refilled. Like there's a joking atmosphere around certain drugs, but then other ones, there's a whole stigma around them. Ecstasy, MDMA, Molly. MDMA is an acronym for the scientific name of the drug that gets you where you want to be in ecstasy and in Molly. Molly is short for the word molecule. And I heard that it was just a rebranding of ecstasy because ecstasy was popular in the 90s in the clubs, and then people started cutting it with rat poison and shit like that. So it went out of style, and then people started rebranding it as Molly to get people back in a scene. You never really know what you're taking, which is quite alarming. But the thing is, here in the Netherlands, you can actually get your drugs tested anonymously to make sure that you are taking exactly what you think you're taking. Because if you're in the club and you buy pills, like y'all, I have literally been to clubs where people have their phone, it's like 4 a.m., they have their phone in the middle of the crowd and it says, ecstasy, 10 euros, and they just like literally this open about it. It is the size of like a Tylenol or a paracetamol, and you can break it apart, which if you're gonna do this, you probably should to make sure that it's not completely horrible. A lot of them have different things on them. Like there are some that are called Trump, and they have literally Donald Trump's face on it. You have Teslas. There's one that just has the Tesla logo on it. The main drug increases the serotonin in your brain, like it surges the serotonin, so you feel really light and you feel really happy and excited to be with everybody. You feel more connected to those around you. Therapists used it back in the day, before it was banned, as a way to get their clients to open up and dig deeper into their suppressed emotions. It basically got their clients to start talking, and a lot of times when you take it, you feel the need to talk about your past or things that have hurt you. Now, if you do have a somewhat addictive personality, maybe it's not the best idea for you to be experimenting. Because it surges the serotonin in your brain, your body will have to make up for that surge of serotonin, so you may feel a little depressed or sad the next few days. You might feel sluggish or unmotivated. For my entire life, I was so freaked out about drugs. I was like, anyone who takes drugs is a bad person, they're all addicted, I don't want to associate myself with that because I don't do that. And then one time when I was 27, 28, I was with my close group of friends and somebody had Molly, and I was like, I don't know about this, you guys. I didn't know like my friends did that kind of stuff. And then finally they're like, Damon, shut up. And I took a little piece. When you take it, you're like, what the, this shit really is the Matrix. Why do I care so much what all these people think? Why am I not chasing my dreams? I would really be in the club at 3:30 a.m. like, wow, that is so true. With all that being said, I'm meeting up with a few hosts of the DrugsLab, which is a popular YouTube channel, especially here in the Netherlands, where the hosts, your average normal people, try drugs on camera and show you the effects, the positives, the negatives, what you should do if you blah, 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 blah. So I'm curious, as two hosts, former hosts of DrugsLab, I want to know your opinions on all of it.
They know only the bad sides about drugs, what happened, like people die about drugs or get addicted.
Also, I think a lot of the times when it does go bad, it's because people are uninformed. Like, even if I think back the first times I did drugs with my friends, I knew so little about it and I didn't know what to do if something went wrong. And I think DrugsLab too, it's like, because you know that you're informed, it makes you more relaxed, which is gonna make your trip better because you know that if something goes bad, you know what to do. Yeah, there's also really good parts. Like, I've learned some of the biggest lessons in my life being on drugs, but nobody really talks about how it can also add something to your life.
And it's really interesting now that I look back because I can see a clear distinction of when I took that for the first time and when I started getting more into philosophy and deeper levels of thinking. What were some of these lessons that you learned?
LSD, remember, in the art gallery? And because we filmed the video, but then obviously LSD can take like 10 hours. So they dropped me off at my house and then I'm still tripping, but my roommate is home as well. They make sure like you're not alone. And I was like making music. I was practicing some parts and I just stopped every time at the same point. And then when I was on LSD, I realized that the thing stopping me was myself, like it was my own mind, and that my fingers could already play the things I wanted to play, and but it was just me thinking I'm gonna fail, so you fail.
So the Netherlands divides the drugs up into soft drugs and hard drugs, right? In terms of like criminalizing them. Do you feel like some of these drugs you guys have tried should be softer drugs, like kind of like cannabis?
The drugs that should be legalized are MDMA and LSD because they're both like not as harming for your body. Let's say if you compare it with alcohol or smoking even, and those are legal.
It never really made sense to me why that would be so frowned upon, but I can go get schwasty and take shots and feel horrible the next day. But that's okay and legal.
And it's two of those drugs where you can really learn from that. They use MDMA also in therapy sessions, like with relation therapy and these things. And LSD too. I think if you know how to use it, it can be so it can be so valuable that it's a shame that it's like on the same list as crack, like heroin.
Why do you think it is on the same list? Like, what would be the government incentive to keep it there?
Because of its drugs.
Yeah, but alcohol and cigarettes are also.
Yeah, but that's the thing, always what I said. Like when I drink a lot of alcohol, I don't know what I do anymore. And when I use ecstasy or something or LSD, I know I'm tripping, but I know this is not real, this is not real.
You're still aware.
Yeah, but when I use alcohol, I'm like completely like, wasted, you know?
I think maybe because alcohol is like numbing, and drugs that I'm talking about, like MDMA, LSD, is like very freeing of your mind. So I don't want to become too conspiracy, but I can see how the government is like, you don't want people to start thinking about why am I working 10 hours a day, you know, when I should be free, or like why are we still experiencing racism or these things. Like, I think maybe they don't want people to start thinking about systems and why things are like the way they are.
Then if you get really funky, you start looking at conspiracy theories where the government wants to ban it because if everyone tried it, then they would realize how fucked up the world is and try to like overthrow the government. You can get your drugs tested anonymously in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Like at the hospital, or there are centers?
No, it's at Jelinek, it's a company, and you come there with your ecstasy pill, like one, and they took a little bit of the ecstasy pill and
they scrape it off.
Yeah, and they will test it for you, and after you get like a text message on your phone, like it's okay or it's not.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And then you go pick it up, or they're just like, this is what it is, sorry, you can't have it.
No, you pick it up again.
When you go there, you have to take one pill. If you got more pills, they will take it from you because it's too much. So I remember one friend of me, he took out his pills on his bag and it was like 3 pills and he said, put it in your bag now and take only one,
like
because otherwise I have to call the police.
These rules are so like bendable.
Yeah, it is.
So when you get it tested, do you get a text message that says what's exactly in it, or just that it is safe?
They have a database of all the pills, but a lot of times when they make new pills, it's not yet in their database.
You guys have a show on your public broadcasting station. It's called BNN. This network is on television.
Yeah.
Anyone can tune in and watch it.
Yeah. It's funded by the government, so we're all paying for it. We're not trying to promote using drugs. I feel like it's more the people who are already thinking about doing a certain drug like you inform them by your own experience.
I think also it's like because you only heard like bad stories on the news about drugs, like people die, people get addicted, so people were afraid to talk about it with each other.
But it's also, I think, because it's illegal, there's all this criminal stuff. Like I'm not gonna minimalize the coke industry in Amsterdam. People die, like they cut off heads and they put them in front of a coffee shop that happened to intimidate the other gangs, and you have like rivalries, kind of mafia. But that's because it's illegal. Then you're forcing people to like go on the street, find a shady dealer who's like selling you half coke, half I don't know, whatever the fuck is in there. I think that's why people are like, they don't want to be compared to that industry or to that world.
Well, I think you guys are doing something really cool. I think it's so necessary, and I haven't seen anybody else talking about it, especially in such a like cool way, like a cool but smart way. Like it's not like you guys are drug addicts.
No.
Or even if you were, like you're doing it in a smart way still. You know?
Low key, we're like,
Anyways, I think you guys are doing a great thing. So good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before my trip was over, the host that I was staying with, Zita, recommended that I meet up with her and her friend for lunch. So I did. Hello. I was over there sitting. Hi. I'm gonna go get my stuff.
Okay. Are you hungry? Are you hungry?
Do you like the croquette or do you want something else?
No, I'll stick with the croquette. We haven't figured it out.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wil je wat drinken?
We're old. We need some more time.
Do you see each other often?
Yeah.
Once a month here met the croquette. Yes, we have to. We have to. Like I told you, he married us.
So you married them in the garden house that I was staying in?
Yeah.
Wow. The Netherlands, I believe, was the first country to legalize same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
And
friends of us have been married by the mayor as the first gay couple all over to get married.
Who?
Friends of ours.
Friends of yours?
Yeah.
How have you seen it change, the attitudes towards gay marriage, or just being gay? How has it changed over the years that you've lived here?
There was no talking about gay marriage. I discovered that I was gay at 12. Didn't know what it was, and I found in an encyclopedia of my grandparents that it was homosexuality and very difficult to cure.
Cure, okay.
And
when did you first notice gay bars in Amsterdam?
They were a little after I came out.
I remember in the Jordaan where I worked, where I started, you had a gay bar, Sarijn, only for women.
Sarijn, yeah.
Only for women. Now, well, that was at that time something very, very special.
A gay bar was something where you had to knock on the door. There was no sign outside. There were these thick velvet curtains,
yeah.
And then somebody came and said, "You can come in. You cannot come in," because they discriminated against straights. I felt very double about it. I mean, it's strange to keep people out, and on the other hand, well, maybe in the beginning.
So at what point did it start changing? Did people start thinking that being gay was okay? Like around what years?
They probably will in a couple of years.
You're like 2025.
Gay is okay. To straight bars and started dancing together. And somebody came to me and he said, don't dance too close because they're gonna throw it punches in the face.
Yeah, it gets violent.
But that fired it more. But that's all we have to do. We have to be visible and talk about it. I mean, I remember I was in New York at the time when the New York Times first used the word gay instead of homosexual. There was under the pressure of the gay community who wanted their own word. Then there was the first gay kiss in a daytime soap opera. My God, those were things to celebrate.
Well, imagine the differences. Even my generation growing up, we grow up and it's more or less accepted, and we don't really understand the struggle that it used to be. Like people like you had to actually fight and like do dangerous things to get it to be so accepted. Side topic here. It really annoys me also if I go to a gay bar and the general vibe is like, there's too many old guys here. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There might be too many old men here for your taste. But how dare you just disrespect people like that, especially when they're the ones who fought for our generation to be so comfortable. Are you kidding? Ugh. This weekend, I went to a massive party. It was a gay rave. Did things like that used to exist?
Well, we had the leather parties. You could check your clothes at the door. And oh, that was so much fun. And
Yeah.
Nowadays you can advertise.
Oh yeah, they're all over. I'll show you the one that I went to.
And the lights don't go out.
No, but
I mean, when I came out, all I had to do was hide myself. And then I finally learned to change that around and show myself. And so whenever there are, I got a new class of children. Do you have a wife? No, I don't. I have a husband. They know that immediately. When I got married, Zita took some of her children and half of my class too, and they were there at the wedding.
Oh, that's awesome.
How was that?
Inclusive of all the Islam children who at home would throw me from a 33-story building, but it's that fight in their brains what I'm looking for. I show them someone who they can love and whom they do love. Mm-hmm. And then there's something strange going on, because all of where they came from, they say, well, those people shouldn't exist, and so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it makes them a little more critical. I mean, don't accept something because someone says so. Accept something because you think so, or you have thought it through, or you imagine it. That's fine too. But think for yourself.
That was good. I'm putting that in. I'm putting that in for sure. Think for yourself. Well, I'm back home here in Paris. I took the train from Amsterdam. It's only 3 hours. I was on the train listening to Beyonce and tearing up. She has this song called Rocket, and at the end she goes, "We're so much more than pointless fixtures, Instagram pictures. God damn it, I feel comfortable in my skin." And I'm just like, that's what it is. There's a way to be intellectual and curious about the world, smart, but also be playful and confident and want to have fun. Y'all, like, we are here on Earth, on this planet for what? I don't know. Nobody knows. So why are we not taking advantage of everything that we can do? This trip, like, sparked something in me. This experience, I think, will stick with me. I've been to Amsterdam many times, but I never had a time like this, y'all. I feel like I found a country that I align with so much politically. Like, when I zoom out of the world and I'm like, this is what I stand for as a human, or what I believe in, or this is the best direction I see for the world, I think I align with the Netherlands. If you guys got anything from this video, I hope it's that you start questioning policies in your own countries, to not forget to have a little fun, and to really question things that you have always thought of as bad, and question if they're really bad or if that's just what you've been taught. I want to know all of your thoughts. I'm sure you guys have a lot. Do you think these things are morally wrong? Do you think it's the best move for these countries to legalize these kinds of things? I want to know what you think. Comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Dank je.